So you're welcome to the session on solving problems for maximum results, solving problems for maximum results. My name is Wale Adeduro. I have a PhD in productivity. I'm a productivity consultant and a performance architect. I also have 2 other PhDs and a doctoral degree in theology and philosophy. So I'm a fellow of 6 institutes in Nigeria and in United Kingdom. I'm a John Maxwell scholar. I belong to the Maxwell leadership team. I am also a trained certified mentor, trained certified crisis and emergency manager professional. I'm a trained manager, trained consultant, certified consultant and manager. I'm a certified advertising practitioner also. And I'm a certified, if I'm a fellow of the Institute of Productivity in Nigeria also, Center for Productivity in Nigeria. So I have all these experiences. But beyond that is the fact that I have together 33 years corporate business experience, apart from the 2 years I spent in journalism actively before I became a freelance journalist some years ago. I have helped over the years several people and organizations to solve their results problems. I help people to solve their waste problems. I help people to maximize results so that there's no failure in any area. And I also am privileged to be a business restructuring expert. I started that in the year 2000 when I was appointed as the Group Head Corporate Resources in FCB International Bank, PLC those days, to help to restructure the bank. As part of that team of about 7 people restructured the bank. And we successfully did that. And I've been here and there. I was a pioneer head of admin in Zenith Bank. And initially we combined human resources and corporate affairs with that function when Zenith Bank started in the first week. That was 33 years ago. So over the years, I've worked here and there. I'm a problem solver and I enjoy solving problems. So this afternoon, you are here to just 1 or 2 tips about solving problems for maximum results. And for me, I always like to start by saying productivity means maximizing your results with available resources. Productivity means maximizing your results with available resources. So it means that whatever resource you have, you must maximize your results with it. Until you maximize the results, you really don't deserve to ask for more resources. That means there's no waste. I'm an apostle against waste. I'm a voice against waste. And that's why we focus on helping people maximize their results over the year. Over the years, I've worked for banks, I've worked for insurance companies, I've worked for agribusinesses. I'm also an agribusiness consultant. I work for government agencies here and there. I've worked abroad for organizations in UAE, United Kingdom, and America, including hospitals. So those are the things that we have done over the years. And we have had a measure of results in all these areas. So solving problems is my business. I help people to solve results and performance problems. And this afternoon, as we start, I'd like you to focus on this anchor story. I call it the anchor story of the business investor and his 3 investment partners. This story is not original to me. It was told by the master himself, the master storyteller in the world. It's about a business investor who had 3 investment partners. It was going to, at the beginning of the year, as it were, he needed to do some investment, make some investment. So he called 3 of his partners and he gave them resources according to his understanding of how they can handle the resources. For our purpose, let us assume that he gave the first investment partner 500 million naira. The second partner, he gave 200 million naira in Nigerian currency. And the third partner, he gave 100 million naira to invest for him. And for him, he said, okay, just invest for me. When I'm ready, I'll come back to ask for the yield. He just went away. And at the end of the year, in the manner of speaking, he came back to ask for his investment and the update, including the return on the investment. And the first person said, oh, I was able to trade with your 500 million. I made 1 billion in all. So that means I multiplied it by another 500 million naira. The company said, oh, yes, I made 200 million naira extra based on the investment that you gave me. And the third person said, oh, you gave me 100 million. You gave the other person 500 million. You gave the other person 200 million. You gave me 100 million. Well, I know you are a very greedy man. I know you don't like me. I know you never trusted me. I know that you always want to be a Shylock. You want to reap where you didn't sow. So I decided to keep your money in my room, under my pillow. So take your money. I'm not a thief. I'm a very honest man. I have integrity. So he gave the man the money back, 100 million. And the investor said, why didn't you put my money in a bank, in the nearest bank? At least I would have gotten some interest on savings. You just kept it just carelessly. It's not fair. And the man, the business investor was very upset with the man who gave him as he invested the 100 million because there was no profit. Now he was angry. He said he was going to punish the man in our own system. Oh, I'm going to embarrass you. I'm going to take you to the police station. You have made me to lose value and all that. That's the story. I'm sure you are familiar with this story. And it's a story you can relate to. Now, the first thing is this business investor who gave somebody 100 million and came back to ask for what has happened was really justified to be angry because the other people gave him profit. This third man who got 100 million didn't give him profit. And of course, in every economy, including Nigerian economy, if you do not earn interest on money, inflation will wipe out the value of the money. Outright. Even in America, it's happening today. It's happening today because the cost of fuel, the cost of houses, the cost of rentals, everything has gone up, even in America. So inflation is there. If you don't generate income or profit, you lose the value of your money. Whatever the money could buy. I remember, for example, when we were in America and we were living up to 2016, the house that we lived in was about $2,300 per month. The same house today is going for about $4,000 per month. So it means that in about 7 years, if you still live in that house and your income has not increased, you have lost value. You are paying more for the rent and you are earning the same amount. Inflation has caught up with you. So that's why the man was upset. But the question really is this. He said something. He said, oh, you should have kept my money in the bank. And I want us to look at that very well. He said, you should have kept my money in the bank. The first question is this. Did this business investor instruct the investment partner to keep the money in the bank? He didn't. So he assumed he will keep it there. And honestly, assumption is the lowest level of knowledge. Assumption is the lowest level of knowledge. When you assume somebody will do what is right without telling him what is right or what is to be done, you are shooting yourself in the foot. He assumed. Why did you put my money in the bank? He didn't tell him to put the money in the bank. That's the first thing. The second question is this. The man was angry that the man returned his 100 million. Did he ask the man what he was going to expect? Or did he tell him what he was going to expect as return on investment when he gave the man 100 million? He didn't tell him. So it was not a clear contract ab initio. Now, why is this important? Because we need to talk about communication. Because a lot of challenges come because of communication gap in communication. You are expecting me to give you 100 million in return for your 100 million, but you didn't tell me, and I didn't agree with you. You come back some months later to ask for extra 100 million. That's where conflict starts. That's where the problem started from. One, he didn't tell the man what to do with the money. He didn't tell him where to place the money. He didn't tell him what he was expecting from the money, and he was angry. Number four, people will assume, yes, he thought the man could handle 100 million. If this man is not a stranger to you, why are you expecting results from a man you know cannot perform? But if you knew he could perform, you would have given him 500 million naira as you gave the first man. Or you would have given him 200 million as you gave the second man. But because you are not sure he could perform, you gave him little. This is the fourth challenge. Why will you entrust your resources into the hands of someone who is not competent, who is not qualified, who you are not sure of what he can deliver? These are general problems concerning this story. Now, I want to leave it like that, and I want to open the floor. You can type the question or the answer, and you can also raise your digital hand, and I will call you to answer the question. Now, this is the story. The business investor and his three investment partners, he gave one 500 million naira, another one 200 million naira, another 100 million naira. He came back, one gave him 500 million. He was very happy with the guy. The other one gave him 200 million. He was very happy with the guy. The other one now said, take your money. I didn't invest it at all. I just kept it. He was upset with the guy. What was the problem? Based on what I have discussed, what was the problem? Or is this a problem at all? And where was the problem? Let's start with the man who got 100 million. What do you think was the problem? Well, what is the general problem here between these two? So there are three questions. What is the general problem between the two of them? What is the problem with the man who got 100 million? What is the problem with the business investor who gave money to three people at different levels and different amounts? I open the floor. What do you think? Three levels of questions. You can take it from anywhere. Who is answering me?
Praise Lord.
Yes.
Praise God.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to say thank you, sir. Really, I appreciate your love towards me. But let me talk about myself. I want to talk about the one that had 100 million. It happened to me. I think the first thing I can observe there is about communication and the knowledge. I received such money, not even up to that amount. Somebody so close to me said, keep this money for me. Well, I need it. I will ask for it. It didn't tell me the time of that need. And it did not tell me I should trade with the money. And I don't want to get myself involved in a particular business, maybe a long-term business that will not bring returns on time. So that I will not be able to meet up when the owner requests for the money. I think I have something of such in the past, but I realized that probably I did not have enough knowledge about business. And I don't know what that amount is even too big for me. I don't know what business I can put it in that I will not have any problem with somebody else. maybe some people, I feel they can give me enlightenment. But what I can say is lack of knowledge affected me. The improper communication. I don't know the period. You would love to have your money back. And then, as a church person, we have been trained to be faithful. And then, what affected me again is about matter of the church. When we get ourselves so much in the activities of church, that disturbs a lot of things, a lot of growth in business, even to even invest somewhere. All my life is about church. It's about church to meet whatever the assignment given to me. So I have my weakness there. So that I'm trying to improve on that. To have enough knowledge, communication, clear communication, and third one is to be maybe to enlarge my coast. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Ma. I can always say, God bless you. God bless you. God bless you, because
Amen, sir.
you have put proper physical human perspective into this. And thank you for offering yourself as a case study this afternoon. God will bless you. He will
Amen.
restore whatever you have lost.
Amen.
And He will bless you more.
Amen.
Excellent. I honestly, you have already taught us everything that we need to know this afternoon. Lack of communication or poor communication. Then you said something that is significant. The amount was too big for you to handle. Capacity. So there was a capacity problem. So the person who gave you the money didn't even know that you didn't have the capacity. But you knew you didn't have the capacity. Because at times we are struggling to get some things. At times we are struggling to get to certain positions that we don't have capacity to handle. And when we get there, we cannot handle the challenges. Okay, then you talked about knowledge. Excellent. Knowledge, information, facts available to you. We are not enough. And you said something that is very instructive for those of us who are Christians, not even not Christians, that is too emotional attachment to things and people. That's how I want to talk about your association, your too much association with church. There's nothing wrong in being a Christian. There's nothing wrong in serving God and being with God 24/7. But there's nothing that says you can only be with God when you're inside the church. So again, yes, we must not forsake the assembly of the children of God and the brethren. We must be close to them. We must associate with God and the people of God. But you must also be able to strike a balance. Because at the end of the day, being in church is not the same thing as serving God. Being in church is ministry. You are doing the work of God. But your relationship with God can happen whether you are in church or outside the church, whether you are with people of God or outside the people of God. But the point is that when you are in church, understand that you know you also have another life. So if all your life is about church, then you better make the best of it. And that's why we are teaching this also. So for those of us who are Christians, you make the best of the relationship that you have, even in the church. And you don't get too religious, because religion is a function of being emotional about the things you hear without understanding the philosophy, the theology, the spirituality, and the emotional aspect and the intelligence aspect of the faith that you believe in. There are 5 dimensions of faith. But a lot of people don't understand it. You just run and say, I'm in church. So morning till night, you're in church and you don't go to work. Or you're in church with people who are not progressive because they are your members. You think that makes them people. No, it doesn't make. They may not even share your views. They may not even understand where you're going. They may not even believe in you. They may not even love you. They may not even trust you. So you need to be able to draw that line and ask yourself, is my destiny going to be fulfilled by associating with these people in this church? Because there are many people in the church. The people you associate with, ask yourself the question, are they helping me to get better as a Christian? Are they helping me to be transformed? And when you are transformed, you can also experience that transformation in all aspects of your life, your business, your family, your marriage, your relationship with people, your finances, in every area. So you can't be growing spiritually and you have a shallow growth in other areas. So I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Okay.
Please, I want to add a little thing.
Yes, ma'am.
Even the development and the training of the children too affected me, because the father is not always around. I was like, I want the children to be well established. They should be independent. They be able to do something on their own, which God helped me in the area of the children, in the area the spiritual growth, but financial growth, it is so weak. It is so weak.
I appreciate that. So again, so you see the thing about balance. It's about balance. So you focus more on raising your children. Well, you are investing in the future, but now it affected your finances and your knowledge in that area. Maybe you are, but now that you have successfully raised the children, you should also be training people how to raise children, how to raise successful children. That can be your ministry, that can be your business, because today there are a lot of people all over the world who are able to help them to understand how to raise children. That can be a compensation for the labor and the experience you have had over the years. Thank you, man. Yes, I'm seeing a lot of comments here. We must take risks to be successful in any human endeavor. No taking of risk is a major, not taking the risk is a major risk in itself. Excellent. Thank you, sir. That's my boss, Jai Olafeso, and somebody else says the man had fear of the unknown, fear of the man who gave you money. Then, Wale Adeduro, you raised up your hand before. Are you still with us?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir.
My contribution, sir. They are just 5. Number 1, sir. There was no plan, sir. The man who was given that 100 million or the least money, yes, he had no plan, no previous plan of what to do. I therefore will say that at any point in time, that as a man, you must have a plan. Then number 2, the man lacked vision. The man lacked vision. Now, it is as a result of his lack of vision. He has no idea of what to do with the money. Then fear set in. The fear that Pastor Wale gave me this money, and when he comes back, I have to give him back his money the way he gave me the money. He did not understand Pastor Wale. That he also lacked understanding. He lacked understanding. He did not understand the master, the one who gave him that money. The man did not understand him. Is this man a resourceful person? Is this man somebody who will give you something, just go and give it, I want it the way I give you, or the one want you to go and multiply? So the other two people who went and multiplied what was given to them, they had better understanding and idea of what to use their resources, what to do with their money, with the talent that they were given. But this man had fear. This man had lacked vision. He lacked idea. So, but the other two, they were two different. They were resourceful. That is the reason they were both enough. They had confidence in themselves that it's okay. If I spend this money, if I'm able to gather this, the highest is that when the man arrives, I will give him his money. Maybe some of them even hire laborers to work for them to multiply the money, and they pay they pay the laborers, and they still had excess. So I summarize it in the under 5 words or sentences: lack of planning. Number 2, lack of vision. Number 3, fear. Then the 4th one is that the 2 successful people, they were resourceful. That is the difference between them now. The difference between the 2 of them now. 2 were resourceful. The other one was not resourceful. Then the two that were resourceful, they had a better understanding of the master, of their master. They know that
Go on, sir.
Master is not a failure. The master came. The joy, the atmosphere was bright, was very good. The master rejoiced with them and they were happy to meet their master. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Then Sonny said there was breakdown in communication. Then the third man was not prepared for the opportunity in life, because at times you need to prepare for opportunity to come. Because somebody said favor is when opportunity meets preparation. So he was not prepared for the opportunity. And of course, Abayomi Emmanuel said the man had inability, was unable to harness opportunity. So it's the same thing. He saw an opportunity and he didn't know what to do with the opportunity. Now it just goes on and on and on and on. Thank you so much, everybody. And this is excellent. So let's go into the prepared slide. What is the definition of a problem? Definition of a problem. Number one, a problem is something difficult. Number two, a problem is an unwelcome or harmful matter or situation that must be handled or managed or dealt with and overcome. Is unwelcome, is harmful, but you must manage it. You must handle it to overcome it. I mean, and that's very important. Now, let me say this. The real foundation of problem is not because it is new. It's not because it is harmful. It's not because it is difficult, because the fact that it is difficult does not mean it is impossible. The fact that something is difficult does not mean it is impossible. Do you know that the most harmful thing to do is to prospect gold or oil under the earth? It's very risky, it's very harmful. You're going to go through heat. You're going to be exposed to dangers out there. Yet, it is very profitable. So the fact that it is harmful or unwholesome is not the issue. The issue is that how, number one, you perceive it, your perception. So the foundation of problems, number one, perception. What is perception? Knowledge and awareness. Knowledge and awareness is the meaning or are the meanings of perception. What knowledge do you have about this thing that you call a problem or this situation? What awareness do you have about the resources available to you, the opportunities available to you, and the gifts that you carry to be able to handle that assignment? Because when we were in primary school, for a lot of us, 2 times 11 was a problem. I don't know about you, but for some of us in primary school, 2 times 76 was a problem. But today, without thinking, if they ask you 2 times 98, you will answer. So you see, it is about the knowledge, the awareness, and the experience that you have. At that time, your experience was low, your knowledge of arithmetic was low, and you were not aware that you needed to be calm to do a fast thinking to answer those questions. For some of us who have been married for more than 3 decades, the first 5 or 10 years of marriage was a big challenge. Why? Because of the low knowledge that we had, or we had wrong knowledge about marriage, and we were not aware that you could have a better way to enjoy your marriage. Some people are poor, not because they were created poor. Everybody was created the same way, but they are poor because they don't have knowledge of how to make money. I just left, I attended the webinar this afternoon from UK about funding. And the lady who facilitated the program has been raising funds in UK for organizations over the past 2 decades. She said something that is very intelligent. She said there are many Nigerians in the United Kingdom who have spent more than 2 decades in UK. In fact, some of them were born there and they've been there for over 50 years. And they are still struggling to do 9 to 5 jobs In fact, some of them are still doing menial jobs, even with MBA degrees. She said because they don't have knowledge that our brothers from Gambia and Mozambique in Africa who came to UK 5 years ago, they are already doing very well by tapping into the available funding in United Kingdom. They know how to raise money. But Nigerians are busy going to do menial jobs, small jobs, because they don't have the knowledge and awareness. In fact, she said the fundraising industry in UK is dominated largely, over about 70%, by Asians. And most of these Asians, they got to UK about 10 years ago. They understand it. So while my own people are struggling, I mean, you want to relocate now, everybody, you take 18 million, 17 million, 15 million to go and get admission and all that. The Asians don't go through that route. They have a better information. And when they get there, immediately they register a company. Immediately, an NGO, a not-for-profit organization rather, immediately they look for a project that can attract funding, free funding, grants. They know how to be accountable. They set up a good accounting system and they start running. So they live on charity and they do well and they don't commit crime because they understand the system. But our own people don't have the knowledge. So we keep running, we keep struggling. So in most cases, the problems we have in life is a perception problem. It's a knowledge problem. It's an awareness problem. Number two, it is an ideas problem. Creativity. You don't have an idea of what to do or how to go about what you need to do. And if you don't have an idea, you cannot generate an idea. You can't bring out something new, or you cannot combine two things to become one. Then it's an ideas problem. If you have an ideas problem, like this, our friend, what happened to that our friend who got 100 million? He didn't have the knowledge of multiplying money. He was not aware that there was a bank near him because the owner said, you could have kept my money in the bank. He didn't understand that the bank near him could have collected the money. He was taking even risk. He didn't want to take risk, but he was taking more risk. And somebody has told us, I think Uncle Gaye told us, that not to take risk is risky in itself. How can you keep 100 million in your room? Because you didn't want to offend the owner. They could have come to kill you in the room and collect the money from you. He could have just taken the money to the nearest bank, but he didn't have the awareness. Then ideas. He didn't have the idea that you can multiply money. He didn't have the ideas to understand that a problem is an opportunity to shine. He didn't have the idea that he could talk to the other two. How and what did you do to get 100, 200 million and 500 million? What are you going to do with your own? He could have solved the problem. Then there was a character problem. There was a character problem. And what is this character problem? Character. Character talks about mental and moral nature of people. Your mental and moral nature talks about your character. The way you reason, the way you see things, your understanding of what is good and what is right is your character. Your ability to reason and do what is right at every point in time is your character. How can you be laughing with somebody and you hate him? And you say you hate him? It's a character problem. So these are the problems. And why is this so? How can you collect 100 million from a man you believe is a thief, is a cheat, is a greedy man? You said the man sows, he wants to reap where he didn't sow. He gave you 100 million, you collected it. Don't you have a character problem already? You see, when I say character, it's a mindset problem. That's a mindset problem. So what we call problems can always be understood from this perspective, this perspective. And I want you to go home after this session, to look at every challenge that you face from this background. This background, your knowledge based on how you grew up, your environment, we're going to go into those details. What you know, the information available to you over the years that have shaped the way you think and the ideas you produce based on the information you have always known. Then your mental and moral values. Those things are important, because if you don't trust me, you don't love me, why will you collect my money and keep it? You want to punish me? Why would you want me to lose money? If I don't love you, I don't trust, why will I collect money from you? Where will I be your staff if I still say negative things about you? That means I am morally bankrupt. Is it that your guy is a useless man? That my boss is not a responsible man? The moment you say that, you should resign. You say, well, I cannot resign because he's the one paying me. I will not go. Then you have a character problem. So you see, so what you call problem can always be gleaned from these three foundations: perception, knowledge, and awareness. Then ideas, ability to generate new thoughts, the way you think. Then your character, your mindset, and your moral behavior. What you know about good and wrong, and how you approach good and wrong. Those things are very important. They are very important. So, as we progress, I want to show you 10 things, 10 types of personal problems. And let me say up front, please, each time you confront a challenge, take responsibility for the challenge. I know someone is going to say, oh, this problem of Nigeria, no fuel, no naira. How is it my problem? It's Buhari's problem. If you are a man, a father, and you cannot feed your children next week, you will know that it's not Buhari's problem. You will know. Because your children are going to call Buhari, they're going to call you. If you are unable to buy fuel or pay for your way to the office, and your boss has not told you not to come to work, at the end of the month, when your salary is reduced or cut or deducted, you know that it's not a Buhari problem. What does this mean? Take personal responsibility for every problem that you meet on earth. Every problem that confronts you, take a personal responsibility for it. Don't abdicate it. Don't say, is their problem? They are the ones that cause the problem. Don't look for who caused the problem. Take responsibility. Because until you take responsibility, you will not understand what is the real nature of this problem. And let me tell you, these 10 are the nature of the problems that we have. Number one, fantasy. I already told you. When you have a challenge, ask yourself, is this a fantasy problem? What is a fantasy? A fantasy refers to ideas. Is this an ideas problem? Number two, is it a feeling problem? Feelings. Is it a perception or emotional problem? Is it how I see it that makes it a problem? You say, hey, this water is half filled. This bottle of water is half filled. Now, is it half filled or half empty? Which one is it? You say it is half empty. I say it is half filled. That is your perception. That is based on your experience. That is based on your orientation. That is based on your mindset. For me, it is half filled. You say it is half empty. Number three, it may be a family problem. Now, you know, for those who are Christians and who are Africans, you say his family people are after him, that the problem is a family problem, or you say it's a household problem. Believe me, a lot of problems are household problems, but they are not spiritual problems. They are really household problems, but they are not spiritual problems. How do I mean? Your background can keep you on the ground if you are not making conscious effort to leave your negative background. Your negative background can keep you on the ground forever if you don't make conscious effort to leave the negative influence of your background. If you grew up with a father who depended on his wife, your mother, to feed, he was not going to work, he will always come back after going to drink palm wine or alcohol or go to beer parlor. You will come home, your mother will cook, you will collect money from your mother, you will beat your mother. If you don't make conscious effort, you will be like that your father. That's your background. When you marry, you will believe it is your wife who should take care of you as a woman. And a woman like that, if you grew up with your father, depending on your mother, a woman will also tell herself, it is my duty to take care of my husband. She won't see anything. So it is that your background that will affect you. And it is also called antecedents, the things that have happened to you in the past, that you have experienced in the past. So if, for example, you have seen people who, when they collect money that is as much as 100 million, they keep it and they faithfully return it to the owner because they are honest people. When the owner comes back, that's what you're going to do. Even if they tell you to invest, you don't invest it. Because, or if you grew up in an environment of fear, like we have said, you will grow up living your life in fear. Even to do good, you'll be afraid to do good. Now, the other challenge will be, it can be a finance problem. It can be a money problem. You don't know how to manage money. You don't know how to multiply money. So it will be a problem for you to multiply money. So the man may have a money problem of making money, managing money, multiplying money. Therefore, he will not be able to do anything with money. So ask yourself, is this a finance problem? So that you know how to deal with, because if you don't know the nature of the problem, you'll not be able to solve the problem. Then the other one is, which is this, I think that's the sixth one. The fifth one. The fifth one is a faith problem. Faith. Faith problem. What is faith? Your belief system. What do you believe? What do you believe? How do you believe? All those things have to do with your faith. Your belief system affects the way you reason. We have seen on social media in the last 2-3 days how grown-up men, including a grown-up woman, in the banking hall, strip themselves naked. They strip themselves naked in the banking hall. Now, whether you like it or not, that tells you about their background. That tells you about their belief system. We say they are frustrated. It is true. You think about it, what will make you be frustrated to the extent that you strip yourself naked in a banking hall? It must be that being naked doesn't matter to you. That's what it means. And you say, yeah, they're frustrated. You see, that's the problem. You are leaving the problem now to face the symptom. We are not saying he's not frustrated, but what will make my mother to strip herself naked in the banking hall? In this era where everybody carries a phone and everybody is a videographer, what will make my mother to strip naked? What will make my father to strip naked? What will make you, as a man, a father, to strip yourself naked in public? What will make you, as a woman, to strip yourself naked in the public? It will be your background. It will be your perception. It will be the number of knowledge you have about life. It will be your belief system. If I strip myself naked, they will be embarrassed. They will give me the money. Then I will wear my clothes. They will not see anything again. I hope we are going with me. Are you flowing with me? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I hope this is adding up.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes, sir.
Now,
We are with you, sir. Yes, sir.
okay, sir.
We are
Thank you,
with
sir.
you, Daddy.
The sixth point. The sixth point will be friendship. It may be a friendship-related problem. If you are my friend and you give me 100 million, will I go and keep it where it will lose value? Please, let somebody answer me. If I'm your friend, will I keep your money where it will lose value? Hello? You can answer. Will I keep your money where it will lose value?
No, sir.
Okay, what are friends supposed to do for one another? Tell me 2 things or 3 things that friends are supposed to do for one another. Hello? What are friends supposed to do for one another? Are we on the chat room or we are talking? Okay, we are supposed to help one another, yes. Is my friend supposed to protect my interests, yes or no?
Yes.
So is
Friends
my
are
friend
supposed
supposed
to protect the interests of his friends.
Yes, you're supposed to protect the interests of your friend. So if this man who got 100 million saw the man who gave him the money as a friend, will he go and make the money to lose value? He won't. So it's a relationship problem. He really didn't have a good relationship with the man, though the man thought they had a good relationship, but he didn't have a good relationship. So ask yourself, is this a relationship problem? Is this a relationship problem? Because you are thinking it is a money problem, but it's a relationship problem here. The other thing is this, it's a fact problem. Knowledge and awareness, like we said earlier. He didn't know what to do with the money. He didn't even know that there was a bank next door that he could keep the money. He probably did not even know that if you put the money in the bank, you get more interest. He did also not know that keeping the money at home was a risk for him. He could be killed. The money could be stolen. So he had a facts problem. Then the other problem, fulfillment problem. Let me ask you, do you think this man likes to be fulfilled? Is this man hungry for success? This man who got 100 million, do you think he's hungry for success? Hello? Do you think this our friend who got 100 million is hungry for success?
No, sir, because he was
Hungry for
afraid to
success.
fail.
So it's a fulfillment problem. You see, that's why when you are relating to people, please be careful of people who are not hungry for success. People are not going anywhere. There are many everywhere in the world. If you associate with someone who is not going anywhere, you will lose money, you will lose life, you will lose reputation. He's not going anywhere, and you want to associate yourself with him. So that's why also the man who gave this man 100 million, we should ask him, what was he thinking? Why would you give a man who is not hungry for success 100 million? And a lot of us still do it. Your brother says he wants to start business. He needs 10 million. Then you help him to raise the money. And the man has never touched 10,000 naira before. He will fail. Or a man has never done any business before. He wants to start business. He gives a proposal of 2 million. And you help him raise the money. You have donated money to charity. And your money is already blown by the wind. So it's a fulfillment problem. The man was not hungry for success. So it's a performance-related problem. Then, of course, there's also what you call the fitness problem. Physical problem, or physical fitness, or mental fitness. Was he even healthy? You don't know. Because if he was healthy mentally, he won't be thinking that the man was a wicked man. How can a wicked man give you 100 million and collect it from him? Then, of course, it could be a frustration problem. The man may have been frustrated before you gave him money. So he was helpless. He felt helpless, even with the 100 million. He would have even thought that you were using 100 million to trap him. And that's what he thought. He said, I knew you are a man who wants to reap where you didn't sow. You're a wicked man, I knew. So you wanted to trap me. I refused to be trapped. I kept your money. He was frustrated. So if you are dealing with a frustrated person, be careful. 10 types of problems that we have looked at. Let me tell you 10 facts about problems too. Do you have any question? Do you have any question or comment before we go on? Pastor Adeduro Bulade, you are here. Welcome. You have any question or comment or contribution? The foundation of problem, what I call ideas, perception, and character. I call it PIC, P-I-C. Pastor Bulade, do you have any question or comment? Okay, we can go on.
Yes, sir, you can go, sir.
Okay, go on. 10 facts about problems. Number one, problems have always existed and they will always exist in the affairs of human beings. However, do not mistake something different for a problem. The fact that it's different does not mean it's a problem. The fact that it's different does not mean it's a problem. Number two, every problem exists to elicit, draw out solutions embedded within it. That means every problem has its own solution inside it. Every problem has its own solution inside it. You remember Genesis chapter 1 in the Holy Book? There was darkness everywhere, and light came out of the darkness. There was darkness everywhere, light came out of the darkness. The lions eat people, but people eat dead lions. So the lion that is a risk, that is dangerous, is also a food. Everyone is created with the innate ability to solve problems. Everybody has the innate ability. That is, there's an inbuilt system, power, force in you to solve problems. And problems are opportunities to exercise your ability to produce results. Whenever you see a problem, know that you're about to produce a result if you face the problem. Because whenever you solve a problem, you have produced a result. And believe me, producing a result is very important when you solve a problem. Let me give you an example. I went through a very debilitating medical issue between 2020 and 2022. Serious medical challenge, kidney failure. By the end of October 2022, I wrote a book about my experience. That book has helped several people. That book, somebody saw me and said, read it and said, sir, let it become a podcast. Somebody said, let that book become a movie. So it's going to be a podcast sometime this year. It's going to be a movie sometime. It's a book already, my own experience. And I'm already counseling me. The other day, last week, my doctors called me in the hospital. I thought I had an appointment. I said, I don't have an appointment. They said, no, there is a kidney patient that we want you to come and counsel. So I have become a counselor and a motivator for those who have kidney issues. So the problem you solve becomes an opportunity to produce results. So you will attract money and honor based on how you solve a problem, more than the results you achieve as a creative problem solver. What does it mean? Become a creative problem solver, not by solving a problem, but by how the process you go through to solve the problem. Because that's what makes you a master. That's what makes you a master. How you solve the problem. How you solve the problem makes you a master, and you become a creative problem solver. Because how you solve it carries your own signature. It carries your own signature. Then solving problems requires being resourceful. It's been mentioned there. Resourcefulness is more than making the most out of what we have. Resourcefulness means you are able to use all the resources available to you and the opportunities available to you to solve a problem and bring solutions. So the more problems you solve, the more confident and resourceful you become. Somebody, oh, I have never seen this problem before. It's because you are about to become a master of this particular problem. You say, oh God, I didn't tell God I wanted a problem. In fact, this year I pray that I will never have a problem. Now this problem has come. It's because God wants to make you a creative problem solver. He wants to make you to become resourceful. Then solving problems through resourcefulness involves the process of being creative and intelligent. Bring up new ideas. I read a book many years ago about how to be creative. You can do it by addition adding two things to one another, to each other, or you can adapt. For example, I learned that the seatbelt we see in our cars today, somebody, the first time he flew in a helicopter, he was given a seatbelt in the air. So when he came down and he entered a car and he saw that the car was jerking, he said, it would be nice to put seatbelt in a car. That was how a seatbelt was invented. So he adapted it from the helicopter into the car. And today, every car all over the world has seatbelt. So that's creativity. You don't have to bring it from heaven. You can copy and paste well. If I'm reading a book by Pastor Mazi Washimolo, The Creative Edge. This is a book, Creative Edge. I'm reading this book, The Creative Edge. You must learn to be creative. You must learn to be creative. Then, of course, being intelligent means you are able to think through your problems. Don't look at the problem on the surface. If I collect 100 million, what will I do with it? When the owner comes to ask for it, will I be able to pay? When I pay, will I be able to pay with interest? When I pay the interest, will he be happy? You're already thinking through. But what was this our brain looking at the 100 million guy? He only thought of collecting the money and keeping it. He didn't think through. He only thought at the point of collecting. He didn't think of what's going to happen at the end of returning the money. So you need to learn to add value, be original, and think through the challenges that you face in life. Then solving problems entails taking advantage of available opportunities as they come our way. There are many opportunities. You may never know. And that's why I always say, please learn to open your eyes, observe, and ask questions. Observe and ask questions. That's how to discover opportunities. You probe. Then you apply them to whatever you are doing. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 10 says, use what you have been given. Use what you have been given. And Proverbs 19:20 says, God gives us abilities, so let us use it. Use what you have been given. Every problem you solve equips and positions you to solve bigger problems. Every problem you solve positions you and equips you to solve bigger problems. And this is what makes you more relevant and impactful. If you solve a 10,000 naira problem, you can solve a 20,000 naira problem. But if you don't know how to solve a 10,000 naira problem, don't aspire to solve a 50,000 naira problem. And that is the challenge we have in life. People who have never solved a 10,000 naira problem, they want to solve a 1 million naira problem. And that becomes a bigger problem. Now, what inspiration do I require? What do I need? Because when you see a problem is like a mountain. It's like a mountain. You are so small compared to the mountain. It's so big. It's so big. But you are going to ask yourself this question. How do I get inspiration for solving the mountain-like problems in my life? Without inspiration, every molehill looks like a mountain. If you are not inspired, every little thing becomes a challenge. There's a program in my place. When you put bean cake in the mouth of somebody who doesn't have teeth, the bean cake will begin to taste like bone. Bean cake in Yoruba land is akara, made from bean flour. You fry it. You fry the paste. It's soft. If you put it in the mouth of a man who has no teeth, he will be feeling as if the bean cake is bone. He will make a mountain out of a molehill. He will exaggerate it. There is no problem you cannot solve if you are smart enough to engage the creative force for solutions. There's a creative force for solution. In 1 Corinthians chapter 10, 13, I'm a faith-based productivity and performance consultant. I train Muslims, I train Hindus, I train traditional worshippers, but I train based on my faith as a Christian. So I am not ashamed to talk about Christianity or Bible. People are looking for results. So 1 Corinthians 10, 13 says, God is faithful. He will not allow you to be tempted beyond your ability to bear a challenge. So there's no problem you cannot solve if you are smart enough to engage the creative force for solution. Just understand that you have what it takes to solve the problem, but you need inspiration to draw that power. So the power that created the heavens and the earth can help you find a way to solve all your problems, but you must be willing to be a co-creator and trust in him. Be willing to be a co-creator. What does it mean to be a co-creator? You must be willing to create something new, bring about something that has never happened before. But it takes time, it takes patience, it takes long suffering, it takes knowledge, it takes drawing on the power that is within you. It takes confidence. It takes doggedness to create something new. It takes experimentation. You must be willing to experiment. It takes risk. You must take many risks. The Wright brothers, it is said that they didn't invent the aeroplane, but they were the one who popularized it and who made it to happen. They practiced over and over again with bicycles before they got there. Thomas Edison practiced and experimented over and over again, trying to produce the filament of the bulb. It is assumed and said that he did it for 1,000 times before he got the result. But one thing is clear, he did it for many years before he got the result. So it takes persistence. So if you are going to be a co-creator, you must be persistent. You must get knowledge. You must apply you must get information and apply the information timely basis in a relevant manner, which becomes knowledge. Then you now apply wisdom. So trust in God, trust in the force that created heaven and earth. But there's a force that holds the aeroplane in the air. You go and plug, you go and cut a tree and it becomes a furniture. How did you get the idea? So solving your problem is always a case of a dream within a dream. There is a book, Chase the Lion, by Batterson. Chase the Lion. He says, every dream is a dream within a dream. If you help me to solve my dream, you'll be solving your own dream indirectly. So if you are not willing to help other people solve their problems, you will not access all the resources you require to solve your own problems. If you are not willing to help other people to solve their own problems, you will not be able to access all the resources that are required to solve your own personal problems. So because solving a problem is always a case of a dream within a dream. So if you are selfish, you cannot solve many problems. And that's why you see billionaires, they give to charity a lot. They keep giving. The more they give, the more they get. Somebody says, sir, why are you always doing this free training? How you do make money? So, well, well, we sow, we give, and the more we give, the more we get. I remember some time ago, I was running a free training like this. I didn't know there was one big man there. He just called me after the program that, sir, can you run a training for my office? And I went to do the training. And that I became a consultant to his organization. So as you solve people's problems, you will solve your own problems. Then we must bear one another's burden and be generous with our resources to solve problems. Don't hurt things. Don't hide information. Then learn to be kind and hospitable to strangers. You don't need to solve problems to only those you know. Solve problems for those you don't know. Solve problems for those you don't know. Place your hands of diligence on the open hands that satisfy. Place your hands of diligence on the open hands that satisfy. And of course, there are problems you cannot solve without supernatural enablement. I cannot say this enough. There are problems you cannot solve and you will never solve without supernatural enablement. I keep saying this. A lot of people don't want to hear this, but it's a true story. Steve Jobs, when he was going to start Apple, he went to a temple in India. When he was having problem with Apple, he went to a temple, the same temple in India. He spent days. When Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook had issues with his business, Steve Jobs advised him to go to the Indian temple. He also went to Indian temple and spent several weeks. When he came back, the business began to boom again. So there is no way you can solve certain problems without supernatural enablement. And it's been said, for those of us who are Christians, about 65% of billionaires in the world are either Christians or we are Christians. So you're in good company. So don't say, hey, don't pray. You can't pray. Prayer does not make money. Making money is more than working and giving. You can make all the money, do all the giving, and make more money, and something will blow it away. So you need supernatural enablement. So any challenge you go through, learn to pray. Learn to pray. Whether you are Muslim or Hindu, it doesn't matter, but you need to know that there's a supernatural force you cannot ignore. That's the truth. And for Christians, hold on to God. Because Jesus is the only way to solve your problems. Then what are the things you need to avoid when you are confronted with a problem? You know, you need to avoid some things. There are some things that you don't have to do. Number one, don't avoid the problem. Problems are like mountains. Once they have been formed, they do not disappear on their own. So don't avoid the problem. And let me leave the problem. It will go on. It will never go. You have to confront problems. Problems must be confronted. Number two, you must learn to avoid asking the who question. Who did it? Who is behind this? You are trying to look for a scapegoat. You are trying to abdicate responsibility. Don't ask the who question when there's a problem. Number three, avoid abdicating responsibility by playing the blame game. Don't look for somebody to blame. Like I told you, don't blame Buhari, don't blame the government for whatever you are going through today. Am I saying there's no problem? There is problem. But your children are not going to answer you. They won't believe you that it is Buhari that is the problem. Because they didn't know Buhari and they didn't vote for Buhari. If you cannot feed them after 1 week, they won't go to call Buhari. They will be calling daddy. So avoid playing the blame game. Avoid looking for a scapegoat. Somebody you are going to sacrifice. And avoid playing the victim. Who's going to tell us the things to avoid? Who remember the things to avoid? Let me see whether you are following me. Tell me what we should avoid. What should I avoid? Please unmute your microphone, please. To solve a problem, what are the things you must avoid?
Avoid asking the who question.
Yes, ma'am. What else do I need to avoid?
Avoid being a scapegoat.
Avoid making a scapegoat.
Avoid whom to be blamed.
Avoid who to blame. Yes, sir.
But I should not avoid problem. I should confront the problem.
Yes, don't avoid the problem. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Good. So we are all together. Now, inspirations for solving mountain-like problems. We've done that. Yeah, okay, we've gone through this. So what do you need to embrace when you make up your mind to solve a problem? What do you need to embrace when you are ready to solve a problem? By repeating why 5 times, the nature of the problem as well as its solution becomes clear. That's what Taiichi Ohno, the architect of the Toyota production system, said. Is the grandfather of the founder of Toyota, Taiichi Ohno. He said by repeating the why question 5 times, the nature of the problem as well as the solution becomes clear. This is what the Toyota Corporation in Japan uses. This is the approach they adopt. Whenever there's a challenge, they sit down to analyze it in the panel and ask the why question 5 times. They question every answer they get from the first why. From the next why, they keep questioning that why. By the time they go to the fifth why, they get the solution. So embrace the discipline of asking the 5 why questions to understand. Please mute your microphone. So embrace the discipline of asking the 5 why questions to understand the specific root cause of the problem confronting you. The 5 why technique was pioneered by the inventor Sakichi Toyoda, whose son founded the Toyota Motor. Now, don't forget I have told you what are the 3 foundations of a problem. What are the 3 foundations of a problem? Who remembers?
Character.
Character, yes, ma'am.
Knowledge and idea.
Character.
Knowledge and idea. Yeah, okay, but I want it as I said it. What's the P? PIC. What's the P?
Okay, that is perception.
Perception.
Idea.
That is knowledge and
idea
and emotions. Then idea. Then
character.
Character. Good. And why this is important is that you need to ask yourself, what is the source of this problem? I call it a problem because what you call a problem may not be a problem. For example, when you go to a hospital and you tell doctor that headache is a problem, he will be laughing at you because headache is not a problem. It's not a problem. It's your own idea that makes you think it's a problem. It's not a problem for a doctor. At times, doctor, this problem is a big problem. He will laugh because it's a problem of 7 days. It's like virus.
Perception, idea, and
some viruses just that if you have cold or whatever, it will go one day. They just help you to boost vitamin C or something. It has a cycle. So you need to understand the nature of that problem and the foundation. So you need to embrace the 5 why questions. Then after asking the 5 why questions, then you proceed to ask the 5 how questions to solve the root cause of the problem. What does this mean? If we ask, we're going to do this exercise together. If we ask the 5 why question, by the end of the fifth why, you are most likely going to understand the problem. Once you understand the problem, the now question now is, how do I solve this real problem? How do I solve the problem? That's where you go to. And that's all. Because resources are going to be made available to you based on your understanding and how you are willing to apply the resources.
Capacity.
Yes, capacity, man. Thank you. Because it's your capacity that was going to help you to work. So that's why it's important. Then we go into this, then we go into the practical quickly. These are, I think, 12 steps to solving the problem. Number 1, engage the superior force to give you strength, understanding, and direction on how to approach the problem confronting you. I told you about engaging the superior force, the supernatural force. There's a force that controls the earth. So you need that superior force in the place of prayer, in the place of meditation, You need a superior force. God help me. I want to understand this problem. Is it even a problem? Why am I having this problem? How can I solve this problem? I just told you the man
Please,
who
I want
went
to
to the
ask question.
banking hall because he couldn't get new Naira notes, he stripped himself naked. Does that give him the money? Hello?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned something just now.
Which one, ma'am?
You said we should give amen. We should do that through the prayers and meditation.
Yes.
To us as believers, meditation on God's word. But the other side of the world, they meditate too. They meditate. I have read it somewhere.
Hello, man. Anything that you see in the word of God happens everywhere else.
Okay.
Sacrifice happens in the word of God, and God commands sacrifice in Psalm 50, verse 5. The old court, they borrowed it and they also sacrifice. Unbelievers give more than believers.
Okay.
Corporate bodies give. You may say, oh, Christians give tithe. They will all tell you, oh, we don't pay tithe. Nobody should pay tithe. It's a lie. In Islam, they pay zakat. Zakat is 10% of whatever income you make.
Yes, yes.
Corporate bodies all over the world are expected to give 10% of their profit as CSR, corporate social responsibility. In Zoroastrianism or something, 10% must be given to charity. In those we call modern cults, 10% will be given to charity. Hare Krishna, you give 10% to the less privileged. They may not call it tithe. So whatever you see in the Bible, in the Word of God, happens everywhere else. So again, meditate. Yes, the Word of God says now, this book of the law must not depart from you. You must meditate on it day and night. That is how you make your way prosperous. That's how to prosper. Think about the word. What does it mean? How can you apply the word of God? It's important. What it means is just keep focusing on the word of God and think about it. Apply it to yourself. That's meditation. Everybody meditates. Everybody, even free thinkers meditate.
Indians, we say meditation.
Whatever they call it, it's the same thing, man. They borrowed it from the word of God. They borrowed it from the Bible. So there's nothing that we do that they don't do. They may be doing it to a different God or whatever for a different purpose, but it is the reality. Or those who are creative, the writers, the musicians, and all that, whether they are born again or they are Christians or they are not unbelievers, they meditate. If you don't meditate, you can't write a song, you can't write a poem. You can't. Because you look at nature, then you begin to think about nature. You are meditating already. Then you now come up and describe nature. So there's nothing, there is nothing satanic about meditation. It depends on who you are meditating to and what you are meditating on and why you are meditating. There's nothing wrong with giving. There's nothing wrong with sacrifice. But as some of us give to the altar, some give to the altar of the devil. That's why Christians should not allow anybody to deceive them, that there are some things that are Old Testament. There's nothing Old Testament in the Word of God. Okay? So engage the prayer force to give you strength, understanding, and direction on how to approach the problem confronting you. I've already explained all that. If unbelievers can go to Indian mountain for weeks to sort their businesses out, you should also go to God in prayer. If you're a Christian, you must go to God in any way you understand. Then define the problem by initially focusing on the problem. Now, people will tell you, don't focus on problem, focus on solution. Hello, those are motivational speaking. If you are confronted with a problem, you first understand the problem before you can look at the solution or get the solution. When you have an injury and you go to the hospital, does the doctor start looking at the shelf? He will examine the wound. When you present yourself that you are sick, they will go and analyze your body system by running some tests. They will now analyze the result of the test. They are focusing on the problem to understand the solution. So when people tell you don't focus on the problem, just focus on the solution, that's not true. It's not possible. You can't get solution if you don't focus on the problem, because you have to understand the problem before you can solve the problem. And that's why it's been said, an undefined problem has an infinite number of solutions. So if you define the problem accurately in a focused manner, you won't be far from the solution. Focus on the problem, to define the problem accurately, then you will get the solution. Then understand the nature of the problem. And we already talked about it. What is the nature of the problem out of those 10? Okay, let's go back, like we said, that our friend, the 100 million naira guy, what are the problems he has? I'm back on the types of personal problems, 10 personal problems. Who will tell me the problem that he has? Fantasy, feelings, family, finance, faith, friendship, facts, fulfillment, fitness, frustration. Among these 10, you can type, you can talk, go ahead. What are the problems he has? I'm on the chat room and I'm listening also. What are the problems he has? Our 100 million naira friend who went to keep the money under his table. Does he have an ideas problem? Yes or no?
Friendship.
Does he have an ideas problem?
Yes.
Okay, he has an ideas problem. Okay, he has a problem, friendship problem, yes. Okay, he has an idea problem, yes. Does he have a family problem? Do you think he has a family problem?
Yes.
Or can he have a family problem?
He can.
Thank you, Sunday Kadiri. He has an idea problem. Do you think he has a family problem based on his background?
Problem. Faith problem, fitness problem.
Okay, so if he has a mentality problem, that means he clearly has a feelings problem, because we have already talked about the mindset and his morality. So he has a character problem. So he has a trust problem. It's a character problem too. You cannot trust somebody. But the problem is not trustworthy. It's a character problem. Yes. So he has a family problem. Does he have a finance problem?
Well.
But this is a finance problem. Yes. Emotion problem is about the feelings. Yes. Is this not a money problem? It's a money problem. How to manage money, how to multiply money. So he has a money problem. Does he have a faith problem? It's his belief system. He has a belief system problem. He believes that the guy is a wicked man. That's why he will end where he did not sow, yet he sowed. Did he not have the wrong belief? Hello, was his belief correct?
No.
I want a third person to tell us. Was his belief correct or no?
The perception was wrong.
Yeah, his belief was wrong too. He didn't trust his boss. He had a communication problem. So he has a friendship problem, relationship problem.
Relationship.
He had all those problems. So his belief was not correct. Thank you, sir. His belief was not correct. Then facts. The facts available to him, were they sufficient for him to succeed?
No.
Yeah. What was the problem that he has with facts? Who can tell me? Apart from Mama, who else can tell me? Mama has been following me for over 20 years. So that's why she's smoking fire every second. Mama, God bless you, ma. So,
yes, sir.
Who can tell me the problem he has with facts? Yes, knowledge and awareness. Who can break it down? Who can break it down based on what we now know about the story?
He thought the money he had cannot produce anything like what they gave to the others.
Good, number one. Then the boss said you should have taken it to bank. Did he know that there was a bank to take the money to?
No.
Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you, Nick Esoya. Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Ma. He didn't know that was a bank. So the facts available to him were limited. Then, of course, fulfillment, he was not a performer. He was not hungry for performance. Otherwise, he would have asked the other guys who had more money. What were they going to do with their own money? Then fitness. Do you think that guy was mentally fit to do business? He could have gotten interest, but he didn't know. He was not mentally fit too. Then, do you think he was frustrated or not? Did he feel helpless?
Yes.
Oh, so we all agree. I feel like clapping for all of you. Have you, so have you seen? So who had the problem? Was it his boss or him?
Himself.
But what did he think? Who did he think had the problem? Who did the man think had the problem?
The investor.
He thought it was his boss. He said, "You sow where you don't reap, you reap where you don't sow." But the man sowed. And this is why we must avoid that who question. Don't look for who. Don't look for a scapegoat. Don't blame me for your problem. Yes, you and I have a problem, but don't think I am the problem. Why don't you take personal responsibility for the problem? At least you will say, it's not your fault. I'm the one who decided to be your friend. That's why you can mess me up. So you take responsibility. Otherwise, you won't solve the problem now or in future. Let me ask you, if somebody dupes you, who is the problem? You or him?
Not me.
But he's a thief now.
It's both of them.
No, but he's a scammer. But he's a scammer.
It's me that allowed myself to be scammed.
Oh, yes, but how about the scammer? So why do you not take the scammer to jail?
I think so that you will not do it again.
But you yielded yourself to be scammed.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So that's how to solve the problems of life. On 2 occasions, I lost promotion when I should have been promoted. You know what I told myself? I will work harder. People say, "Boy, you are still working hard like before." I say, when I work hard, they didn't promote me. If I don't now work, what will happen? So I worked harder. He said, "You're not even complaining as if he didn't pay you." He paid me, but I can't complain. Because if I was above board, I would have been promoted. But some people say, "Well, they didn't promote me, I will resign."
What are you going to be?
Where you are going, who is going to promote you the next 1 year? I hope you understand this. So you must not blame somebody. There's a tendency, there's a natural tendency to blame the other person. If I'm married, if there's a problem in my marriage, it is natural to blame my wife. But the truth is that who is the head of the family? I'm the one. I'm the head of the home. When a teacher blames the student for failing exam, who should you blame? Thank God in Europe and America, they blame the lecturer. If more than average number of students fail a course, the system in North America and UK will blame the lecturer. So that's why lecturers do extra classes free of charge for students. But if there is a percentage of students that fail, they'll blame the lecturer. So if I'm a woman and my marriage has issues, I shouldn't blame my husband alone. I should also take responsibility for certain things, at least for marrying a wicked man, for marrying a foolish man. I hope we understand this. I hope you understand this.
Yes, sir.
Okay, in the problem of Nigeria today, there's no naira note, no new naira note, no cash. Who should you blame that you don't have cash? Emefiele or Buhari or the banks? Who should we blame? Let's leave politics, let's leave emotion based on what we are talking now.
Central Bank and the banks.
Central Bank. Why are we blaming Central Bank?
They should have made enough provision, and they should have thought out why and how they would have. They must have known how they will get it done and why it is this way now.
Okay, you know, this class is about personal problems.
But maybe God, boss.
I think we should blame ourselves for it.
Hello, So let me ask, I just said that we should make it, this is a personal problem class. Did we get notice that Naira old notes will expire?
Yes, we did.
How many weeks notice did we get?
6 weeks, 6 to 10 weeks.
Thereabouts.
Okay. The effort that we are all making now, if we made it the first or second week,
which
do
we
you
have
the problem?
We won't.
We all left it till the last minute.
To the last minute. Oh.
Sir, even if the banks do not have what to give, and the central bank did not provide as much to the banks as they are saying,
I'm not speaking on behalf of Central Bank of Nigeria.
Yes, sir.
I know the process of how money is released to banks because I used to work in a bank. I used to represent my bank in CBN to collect cash. So I understand some of those aspects. There's a process. There's a timing. There's the other level. You must show the bank that you have exhausted the one you have up to a particular level, the CBN, before they release another one to you. Have you not seen videos where people are throwing bills of Naira everywhere?
Yes, sir.
How did they get it?
That's the abuse of our money. I think they got it from the bank anyway.
Okay. That's why I'm ignoring the abuse. If I had made the same effort, would I be in this particular personal mess at my own level? This is a personal class. I'm not speaking politics. I'm not speaking macroeconomics. There's a problem. And I told you, if you cannot feed your children next week because there is no Naira, who would they blame? Buhari?
No, me.
CBN?
Parents. They will blame the parents.
So as the parent, what should I have done? That's my question.
We should have planned ahead. Plan ahead. Yeah, make necessary provision. Yeah.
First, you keep the money that you have, you hide it. The new notes that you have, you first hide it. You start spending the old notes, which is what I did. So when it became crisis, I brought out the old new notes that I have. And I said, so we cannot spend money now like that. We cannot spend cash now. We have to reduce cash.
When did you get your new notes, sir?
I got my new notes before the new notes expire, old notes expire.
That's a good question.
Yes, because the normal market woman that is selling daily is given new notes. She cannot give me back change in new notes because she cannot even change the money.
So that's why you, who is not a normal market woman, should have got the money from elsewhere, not from the normal market woman. Because
I'm not talking of myself. I'm talking of, we are looking at
No. I just told you I'm not speaking politics. I'm not talking about people who are not in this class.
Yes,
I am not. Did we see queue at the banks 2 weeks ago for new notes?
There was no queue. No, sir, but there was no money. I went to the bank. How many people
made concerted the energy we have made now? If we made it 2 weeks ago, in Nigeria, PVC, some people are still not collected. Federal government has extended it 3 times. I'm talking about people in this class. I'm not talking about those who are not in this class. Because I'm not going to average people. I'm talking about people who are going to be above average. You must take personal responsibility for your own life.
Sir, I made effort. I didn't get anything from my bank. I saw the money first with you last week Wednesday.
I know a lot of us are like that. But the truth is this. Mama, I know you. If you needed that money desperately, you would not have gotten it.
I didn't get, sir.
Mama, if you were very particular, you said today, fire on the mountain, I must get this money. Would you not get it?
I don't know, sir. I cannot answer that.
Okay, all right. Okay, but I know if
we don't even
get
have
to
in our house. We don't have in our house self.
If we get to a level where we need something that is a matter of life and life, won't we get it?
We will, sir.
That's all. So that's how to solve the problem. Address the issues. So let's go back. Let's go back to this. And I'm going to run through this. Then we are going to go back to the why question using this scenario note as an example. Okay. So we said understand the nature of the problem. Is it spiritual and all that? Then identify your strengths concerning how to solve problems. Your strength includes your network. Your strength includes what? Your strength includes what?
My network.
Do you know that even me, I just realized on Monday that I used to be a banker concerning these new Naira notes. I didn't remember I was a banker in the last 4 weeks. So if I had used my network, by the grace of God, I personally know at least 5 MDs of banks in Nigeria that I can call on my phone. If I can just send text, they will respond. If I had called those guys where I have bank accounts, don't you think I would have got? Hello? Is somebody with me?
Yes, sir.
Do you think I won't get Naira notes if I had called them and I have accounts with their banks? Some I even have investments. I have major investments.
You will,
I didn't remember to call anybody. So, is this a CBN problem for me or my personal problem? Let somebody help me. You don't want to blame me or you don't want to talk to me? What did I do wrong?
It's your personal problem, sir.
It's a personal problem because I could have solved my problem. How can I have 5 MDs as my friends? I can send text messages and they'll respond. And I have accounts in those banks. Some I have major in financial investments. So it's my money I'm looking for, not their own money, not gifts. And those are the issues. So I was busy also saying, Buhari, CBN. I could have made my own personal effort. And the moment I decided to make effort, I got money. When I decided to make effort, I got money in less than 10 minutes. In less than 10 minutes. But I waited until crisis day. I hope you understand what we are talking about, this solving problems. So it's a mindset thing. It's a perception thing. It's an ideas thing. Don't ever forget. So the resources you have include your network. And of course, understand the opportunities available to you for solving the problem. What are the various opportunities you have? The access you have, the leverages you have, the location you find yourself, the things that are happening that you can use to access money. I mean, yesterday I was with somebody, a younger friend, and I said, hey, I dashed you 2,000 Naira. I gave her 2,000 Naira notes. And I remember, I said, oh, I may need the 2,000 Naira notes. Oh, sorry, give me the Naira notes. He said, what do you want to do, sir? I said, I want to transfer 5,000 Naira to you. She said she didn't want. I said, I brought her my phone. Let me transfer 5,000 Naira note, 5,000 Naira to you. She said no, she doesn't want. She prefers the 2,000 Naira note.
Yes, sir. I also prefer it.
Because there is a crisis. You don't understand. So for me, for the man or for the woman, she had an opportunity to make more money. But she doesn't want more money. She wants the notes for today, which is fine. It's your decision. And really, we cannot blame anybody for taking the decision he or she takes. And that's the conclusion of this matter when we're going to conclude. Once you are satisfied with the decision you have taken, take responsibility for it and be happy with it. Don't bother. So again, So who are the people you can approach to assist you solve the problem? Communicate the problems and your expectations to them. I have people in the banking industry at MD level, by the grace of, I must know more than 30 EDs in banks today. I didn't call any of them. I must know more than 40 managers. I didn't call any of them. So together, I must know more than 100 top executives in banking in Nigeria. I didn't call anybody. And these are the people that can approach to solve the money problem. So my challenge was communication. My challenge was ideas. My challenge was perception. I forgot that I have them, my knowledge and awareness of the people who can help me solve my problem. Then list the kind of support you require to solve the problem. There are different challenges you have in life, and you can now, if you identify the problem, list the kind of support that you require to solve the problem. There are different supports that you will need to solve the problem. And of course, learn to be open-minded to improve your knowledge base, because you need to improve your knowledge base. Ask questions, read, study, then receive wise counsel, instructions, and mentoring. Then weigh your options. What are the various options you have? That lady yesterday had the option of collecting 2,000 naira new notes or 5,000 naira by transfer. She weighed that option and she chose 2,000 naira. And guess what? She saved me 3,000 naira. Was I happy? I was not too happy because I needed the 2,000 naira notes too. But again, I was also happy at the end of the day, at least I saved my 3,000 naira. So both of us won. So weigh your options and take the decision most appropriate to you in the circumstance you have found yourself. It may not be relevant tomorrow, but today, that is the most appropriate decision. Then review your decision. Before you take that decision, review it again. This decision I want to take, is it okay? What will be the consequences? You go back again and play it back. What are the consequences? What if I don't take these decisions? What are the benefits? What are the disadvantages? What can go wrong? What will I lose? Then you decide, like that my friend yesterday, I don't want the 5,000 naira transfer. I want the new naira notes. And that solved the problem. So you take your decision and you take responsibility for it. And at the end of the day, you should be grateful to God for giving you the grace to take that decision. Now, this is a summary of how to take decision, how to solve a problem. You see, it requires a lot of thinking. You must take your emotions out of it because emotions distort value judgment. Emotions distort value judgment. Emotions distort value judgment. Don't be emotional. So if you have an emotional problem, please remove your emotion. Is a knowledge problem? Seek knowledge. You need to seek knowledge. Is a money problem? Learn how to make money, how to manage money, how to multiply money. Is a relationship problem? Learn emotional intelligence. Manage your emotions. Because at times you are blaming somebody else when you are the problem. A lot of us talking about background, like I talked earlier, about family problem. If it's a family problem, a lot of us have low self-esteem based on how we were raised by our parents when we were younger. So you go around with the low self-esteem. So any small thing, you take offense. Say they don't like me. That's why they give me 100,000 naira or 100 million naira. That's not small money now. But because you are comparing yourself with the guy who got 500 million, you don't know that you are not on the same level in terms of capacity, in terms of experience, in terms of knowledge. But you want to take what I have. You want to be where I am, yet you don't have the emotions to be where I am. So it's important for you to know that you cannot afford to be emotional when you want to take any decision. And please be open-minded. A lot of us, we are unable to solve problems because we have preconceived notions. We have preconceived notions. This is what I expect. I remember some time ago, a young man was brought in by his uncle just to come and stay with him while he will look for a job. And He came and he was there. Okay, go and look for a job anywhere. At least if you are with me, and you can look for a job anywhere. His uncle didn't promise him any job. Just said, come and stay here. It's a better place than staying in the village. And after a while, the uncle got him a job somewhere. Some months later, the young man started complaining that his expectation on the job was higher than the job that his uncle got for him. That his uncle was not fair to him. So the uncle asked, did I promise you a job? He said, no, sir. Did I discuss salary with you? He said, no, sir. What did I say? You said I should come and stay in the house. Then from here, I will be going to look for a job. You couldn't get a job. I helped you to get a job. You are now angry with me that the job I got for you, the salary is too small. Excuse me, please. Who has the problem? Was it the uncle or the man?
The man now.
But the young man said it was the uncle, and he was reporting the uncle everywhere. So so preconceived notions at times, you expect this to happen, but you have not even communicated what you expect. It's the communication problem. So I won't know what is in your mind. So that's why I try once in a while when you get closer to and say, please, what are you expecting from me? So I notice. People have what they're expecting, though. The other one does not know. The man who greets you today and says, sir, welcome, petrol station, no sell fuel, a bank no open, then they fight for bus stop. Even me, I never eat his money. What is he looking for?
Money.
He's not giving information. He's soliciting for money. But if I don't give him, have I done anything wrong?
No, now he didn't say it. He didn't communicate.
He didn't tell me he needed money. So I was going to say that man is stingy. He has a cagum in his hand. I was telling him I was using scope to tell him my problem. He didn't listen. Where will I listen? I don't know how to decode code. But he will blame me at the end. He say, I'm a stingy man because I didn't give him the money. But the truth is that he didn't ask for the money. So how do we attempt to this? I talked about the 5 why question. I want some people to volunteer. 5 people. Pastor Ogunlade, you're going to volunteer. You are a pro in this matter. Are you still there? Are you still there? Only one person has opted out, so you should be here. Is the one who opted out? Okay, who are the 5 who want to volunteer for me? Just mention your name. Mention your name. I want to do something quickly. 5 people volunteer. Just mention your name. I'll write your name. I'll call you as a volunteer. The first person. Where is everybody now? Okay, I'm seeing. Okay, yes. Okay. Okay. Who else is volunteering for me? Okay, let's go back to our friend. He had a problem. He had a problem, 100 million naira. And he abused his master that he was a man who was greedy, who reaped from where he did not sow. The question is this: why was he unable to produce results? That's the first question. That's the first why. Let's go through the why. Who is going to answer that? Let me start with, is Sunday here? Sunday Kadiri? Sunday Kadiri is not there. Okay. Titiloy, are you there? Okay, somebody else will just answer so that we don't waste all the time. We will hopefully round up in another 13 minutes.
He didn't have a fertile mind that could tell him and show him what to do.
That's the first why. He didn't have a better mind. Okay? He didn't have a better mind. Somebody can post it on the screen too. Have a better mind. So he had a mindset problem on what to do. Okay. Okay. Who will ask the second why question? Who help us ask the second why question? Based on this first answer, can we just ask why does he not have a better mind? So he's going to answer that question.
Oh, all right, sir. Let me come in here.
Yes, you are in the spirit. I was also going to call your name. Thank you that you are in the spirit. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So no better mind. It is one of the things that we see in the field when consulting. People work in silos. He worked in silos. He was the only one giving that money. And from the way the problem was presented, they were all giving the money, and it seems like they all knew about each other getting the money.
Yes.
You should have gone to find out what the other people were doing. So relationships is important in an imaginary case like that, and in real life. Lots of people that get fantastic businesses and opportunities is because they have leverage on relationships that they have, relevant, knowledgeable relationships, not just anyhow. But if someone is given 200 million and you are given 100, it means that there's something the other person knows that you don't know. And you should be tagging along with those people and not tagging along with people who are given or have access to only 1 million as against 100 million. So that's one of the things we do to ourselves by hanging around the wrong kinds of people. We should be with people we aspire to be with. So bottom line, wrong relationships, poor relationship management.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. Thank you, man. Thank you so much, man. So you see, so the first problem he had was a knowledge problem. The second problem is now a relationship problem. Now, the third question, what will be the third why question now? Based on the second why, the answer. What should be the second why question? Why does that relationship problem? Why does that relationship problem? Is Margaret Fashion with us now? Can you answer the question? Why does that relationship problem? Oh. Joseph Mayowa?
Yes, sir. He had a relationship problem because he found it difficult to relate with.
So why did he find it difficult to relate with people? That's the problem.
He has a character problem.
He has a character problem. Now, that goes back to our foundation. What is the definition of character with us here? Mental and what? Moral. You remember?
Yeah.
You said it's the mental and moral foundation. So he does not know how to relate it because he's not secured. Now, do you know that this character problem may also be part of his background? So I can also ask the question, so why does he have a character problem? Let's just go. Why do you think he has a character problem? Who is going to help us? This is the fourth why. Hello, we're here. We're solving this problem one step at the other. Why does he have a character problem?
It might see himself as
he's doing answering.
Who is talking? Bringing.
Yes. Okay. What did you say, man?
I said he's not bringing his position he has.
It's not what?
His upbringing.
Yeah, his upbringing. So that talks about his background. He talks about his background, eh? So he has a background issue. He has a background issue, what we call what? In our levels, we call it family problem. So he has a family issue. So when you say your family is worrying you, you think it's just demons. No, it's not satanic. It is how you were brought up. So he has a family issue. It's affecting everything now again. Why? Because maybe he grew up in a system where he cannot relate with people. It has affected his working relationship. It has affected his perception of people. Now it's affecting him. So why do you think he has an upbringing problem? A family problem?
Has been coached into.
Why do you think he has a family problem? Upbringing problem, background problem, antecedent problem? Why do you think he has that problem? Hello, we are nearly there. This is the fifth why.
He never tried to drag himself out of where he has been coming from.
So it means that it's living in the past.
Yes, sir.
So we can say it's living in the past. So if he's living in the past, where does he fit in our 10 Fs? What was the last F in our 10 Fs? Who remembers the last F in our 10 Fs? Who remembers? You're not taking notes. Oh my gosh.
Frustration, sir.
Frustration. You know, I cannot help myself.
Yes, sir.
So he feels helpless. So that is his challenge. Is what? Is helpless, is frustrated. So how do we solve this problem of helplessness? So what is his real problem now? What is the foundation for his problem? Is it his boss?
Family.
No.
So
Family.
the conclusion is that he is frustrated. Isn't it?
His mind. Yes, sir.
It is his frustration that we are dealing with now. So how do we solve the problem of frustration? Now we are ready to the solution. We have identified the root cause of his problem. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Just as the root cause of my not having Naira notes today is not Buhari or CBN or Nigerian banks. It's me. But why is it me? I didn't leverage your relationship. Isn't it? We don't agree again?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I didn't agree. I didn't leverage your relationship. Why did I not leverage your relationship? Because maybe I am carefree. Maybe I don't know my worth. Maybe I'm just overconfident. So this guy's real problem is what? Frustration. So if we are going to solve the problem he has is what? Frustration. So how do we solve the frustration problem? First answer. How?
Change his mindset.
One, change his mindset. Change his
What
mindset.
about wise counsel?
Hold on. No, wait. Which one is the first one? Change his mindset. I'll take that. So how do we change his mindset?
Wise counsel.
Okay, wise counsel. So how does he get wise counsel?
It should relate with people.
Okay, so
no, that's not better.
Okay, so to get wise counsel, we will solve the relationship problem, isn't it?
Yes.
It will relate to people. To people, relate with people, eh?
Yes,
okay, how will you relate with people? How will you be able to relate with people?
You go to seminars, listen to.
That goes back to wise counsel. That goes back to wise counsel again. So how does it relate to people?
Accept that he doesn't know enough.
He accepts. How will he accept that he doesn't know? There is something that we said when we were discussing. How does he accept he doesn't know as part of the solution?
I think emotion is not value judgment or something.
Yeah, it shouldn't be emotional. Yes, it should be emotional, but there's something. If you're not going to be emotional, what are you going to do? Not emotional. It means what? You have to keep an open mind.
Open-minded, yeah, open-minded.
So the answer there now is all this acceptance that he doesn't know, all this not being emotional means he has to be open-minded. He has to be open-minded. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
So where are we now? Which hour are we looking at now? That's the third hour. Oh, that's the fourth hour. Actually, that's the third hour. We said the wise counsel. That's the second. Third is relationship. So how does it get there? Fourth.
Open-minded.
So number 5, how does it become open-minded?
Open-mindedness.
How does it become open-minded?
Relationship.
We have said it already. So how does it now become open-minded?
Networking.
Yes.
Networking is also relationship already. We are talking about relationship. If I'm going to be open-minded, you have said you have to accept he doesn't know. I have to be open-minded. So what does that mean? How will he do that?
He should improve on his knowledge base.
Training.
Training. That's all. So what does he need to solve his problem? You need to train him. So
Training.
now, for consultants like Prophet Queen, Madam Ekai Deumo, they will now do a training analysis need for him, or a training need analysis. What does he need for training? He needs a training on being open-minded. He needs a training on relationship. All those 5 things we have talked about on the how. You train him on all those things. Will he get results tomorrow? Will he get results?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
If you train him on how to be able to manage money, multiply money,
Yes.
how to relate to people, will he get results?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Will you still be frustrated?
No more frustration.
So can you put your name as the woman or the man who got 100 million? So the next time you have a problem, can you be this painstaking? Who is willing to go through this process? No emotion. Don't panic. What if a house is burning? What will I do? The question I want to ask you, are you a firefighter? But we have seen people, when the house is burning, they jump into the fire. Have you not seen before?
Yes.
I have seen several people, when their relation get drowned in the Atlantic Ocean, what do? They jump inside too. Do they know how to swim?
No.
But they jump.
You can't even swim the Atlantic.
But they jump. I have seen people who jumped. So instead of losing one person, you lose 2. I've seen somebody whose son drowned in the swimming pool. He does not know how to swim. What did he do? He jumped inside too. So both of them drowned. I hope we get this. So the honest truth is that with this guy, initially, it looked to him that it was his boss that was the problem. But what was the problem? The problem was within him. And like I told you, there is something within you that can help you solve the problem. And the problem also has ingredients of solution. In this matter, the problem of you giving me money, the solution was in the money. Just put the money in the bank. End of story. Or you go and talk to your people, relationship, like we have been told by the Prophet Queen. Don't build silos. Don't be alone. Don't be too insecure to run and not to want to run with people. They will copy my idea. Which idea did you have that nobody has ever had? It's because you are not reading. I read books that were published in the 1890s. They are the ideas that we are using today. Somebody says writing something original. What? Did you bring it from F? No. Even those of us who are talking productivity, I have 3 PhDs. What is PhD? Is it not that you read somebody's idea, then you now improve on it? When you say you're writing thesis, is it not what we do? I'm looking at my library. I'm looking for that, my recent PhD thesis. This is my recent PhD thesis. This thesis. This PhD thesis. This one. Is it my idea? No, you get a body of knowledge, existing body of knowledge. You critique it, you improve on it, and you add to that body of knowledge. Then you have a PhD thesis. It's only just an aspect of it that is original. So you must learn to work with people. And that's why we need training. That's why we need all of us to learn how to improve on ourselves, get more knowledge. And that's why we started by saying the foundation for every problem is PIC, perception, which is knowledge and awareness, ideas and character, your mindset and your moral values. Those are the things. You don't trust, why are you collecting my money? So I hope this is clear. I hope this has been useful. Does anybody have any question? We've come to the end of this session. Does anybody have any question? Any question? What are you going to do with what you have learned? I want people to tell me, what are you going to do with this? Tell me what you're going to do with this. If I want people to tell me what are you going to do with this?
I run with it.
You run with it. How are you going to run with it?
I turn things around. Everywhere that I have taken a wrong step, I go through this and I make
subject
sure
it to this process again.
Yes, sir. Go through and subject it.
Take out emotion. Don't blame anybody. Take personal responsibility. And please don't forget, this is solving problems for maximum results. It's your personal result we are talking about, not Nigeria's result, not company result. But when you get results, your company will get better. When you get results, your family will get better. When you get results, people of us get good results, Nigeria will get better. And that's why I'm into maximizing results as productivity coach. Okay, thank you. Who else? What else are you going to do? Who's the second person? What are you going to do with this? How is it going to be useful to you?
I will extend it to my children and to people around me.
Oh, wow. You are taking to the next generation. Start teaching them not to be emotional because emotion distorts value judgment. Thank you, ma.